Alrighty, welcome to this live stream. If you're watching the replay, appreciate you. My name is DeFi Mike. I have been in crypto now for the past almost 8 years. Was a pretty early investor in Ethereum, sub $100. Was one of my first positions on ETH. And in this video, on this live stream, we're going to break down, will Ethereum pump or will it crash going into the ETF tomorrow? So let me know in the chat if you guys can see my screen and what do you think will take place. Now, I'm over here on Google Trends and we're taking a look at just basic data on Google. Is the word Ethereum trending right now on Google? And we can kind of see here, right? Let's talk 4 years ago. Kind of a similar situation here. Market was kind of flat. Market was kind of pulling back at the time. Very low Google trend. And then we see what happens in 2021, right? Huge bull market. Ethereum goes from hundreds of dollars to thousands of dollars. And if you're on this live, hit that like button and maybe even send this out to a friend or two and let them know we're talking about Ethereum and the ETFs are approved for tomorrow. Don't know what an ETF is? I'll explain it to you here in a second. But if you haven't heard, Ethereum is one of the biggest cryptos in the world. It's the second biggest. It's at 3,476, 120 million tokens, maximum supply. What does that even mean? We're going to get into that. But if you can see this, the talk is still very low. It's a very interesting bull market that we've been in, because we haven't seen a euphoric run on altcoins. We haven't seen a euphoric run on Ethereum, not yet, but we will see some sort of explosion like this where it's the talk around town. Now, if you don't know, like I said, Ethereum is the second biggest crypto. It is the reason that DeFi exists. When you look at Ethereum, it's really that first project that you can build on. And Ethereum is really, the best altcoin. It has over $418 billion in it. And I believe on this run, it will get to 800 billion, 7 to 800 billion dollars in market cap. So I believe it does still have a long way to go regarding price. Wouldn't be surprised if we see a $6,000 or a $7,000 Ethereum on this run. Personally, that's where I'll be taking profits. Could it go to 8? Could it go to 10? Absolutely. I don't care. Okay. When you start marrying a price, you get in trouble. So, Mike, what is Ethereum and, kind of how does it work? And if you're watching this live or the replay, hit a 1 in the chat if you're holding Ethereum in your portfolio. Okay. If you're holding Ethereum, let me see a 1 in the chat real quick. Now, on Ethereum's main website, ethereum.org, you could actually go to their roadmap. And inside of crypto, we talk a lot about different blockchains, Solana, Phantom, Avalanche, and this is just the 3 words you're going to hear the most: scalability, security, and sustainability. But really the first 2. A lot of blockchains have had issues with security, like Solana has. And then a lot of blockchains have had issues with scalability, like Ethereum has. But guess what? There is a roadmap, and the roadmap was actually used against Ethereum in court. And a lot of projects in the future, these roadmaps, don't help the case of, is it a security, because people are buying into it thinking that it's going to make them money. But let's go down here to the roadmap and let's take a look at what is coming. Okay, obviously we've had different things already, like the merge, where we get cheaper transactions, extra security. Let's scroll down here and we can see here the merge. This was upgrading from proof of work to proof of stake. This already took place. The surge upgrades related to scalability, this has already taken place. Now the scourge is upgrades related to censorship resistance, more decentralization, and protocol risks for mechanism prioritizing certain actions on a blockchain for a fee. So just creating a more decentralized environment. Then you have the Verge, which will upgrade related verifying blocks more easily. Then you have the Purge, And then you have the splurge. So Ethereum is still not a finished product, which is good and bad. Good and bad, but it's better good than not. These are some things that Ethereum has done over the past couple of years. Proto dank sharding, which makes layer 2 rollups much cheaper for users. This is where things like optimism come into place. This is where things like Polygon, um, then you have the staking withdrawals. The Shanghai upgrade enabled staking withdrawals on Ethereum, allowing people to unlock their staked ETH. Everything we're talking about here tonight is Ethereum, ladies and gentlemen. Good to see you, Tanner, Tanisha, OKC in the building. What's up, Cedric? And this was a really cool upgrade because there were people who bought Ethereum, guys, at $100. You need 32 Ethereum to stake or to become a validator to help approve transactions and to start getting paid on fees, right? And until recently, what was it, last year? End of last year, I believe. Time goes by so fast. That Ethereum was locked. But even with that ability for these whales to withdraw their staked Ethereum, ETH still held very, very still. So that's great news. And then here are just some other things that have not yet happened. So the roadmap's there. It has the money, the Ethereum Foundation, Vitalik, all these different things. Now the question is really, will this blockchain continue to grow and continue to get better off the roadmap? Today we're seeing about 12 transactions a second on Ethereum, which is basically per block in Ethereum. Bitcoin, we're not going to talk about Solana or any other cryptos here other than ETH, but Bitcoin does about 19 transactions per second, but the blocks take like 5 to 7 minutes, all right, based on the network. So Bitcoin is a layer 1, Ethereum is a layer 1. You're not going to build DeFi on Bitcoin. It's just not the purpose of it. Bitcoin is supposed to be used as a store value, as a way to transfer money between two parties or two entities or two institutions. You can treat it like a savings account, right? Bitcoin has outperformed everything and everybody. And Ethereum tomorrow is going to join the club because while we're talking about Bitcoin, I'm on here on etfdb.com. We can see what has happened over the past, 4 or 5 months that Bitcoin ETF has been live. Okay. Companies like BlackRock, right? This is in thousands. So this is $20 billion in Bitcoin. Grayscale, $17 billion in Bitcoin. But remember, Grayscale was actually selling some of their Bitcoin in that trust because those people got locked in on bad fees. So they were selling it off and then opening this new fund. Then you have Fidelity. Okay. Fidelity has about 5 trillion under management. They got $11 billion of Bitcoin. This is still so small compared to how much more money can come into this space. Now, the good news here tonight is the Ethereum, and I want you to hit this like button if you are ready for this. The Ethereum ETFs have been approved. 5 of them will start trading tomorrow. VanEck, Invesco, Fidelity, 21 Shares, and Franklin Templeton. All of them have a Bitcoin ETF. Okay? All of them have a Bitcoin ETF. Now, one of the negative things with the Ethereum spot ETF is that if you are an institution and you're buying the spot ETF, which is essentially like a stock, you do not get staking, right? You can't stake. You could have $100 million of this spot ETF ticker symbol. If you had $100 million of IBIT or EBTC, whatever Ethereum's name is going to be, you can't make any money on staking or in DeFi. So real crypto people will not be playing the ETF game. But if you don't know, these spot ETFs right away on the transaction of money coming in, they have to buy the underlying asset. The underlying asset is Ethereum. We'll take a look at that here in a second. Now, there is breaking news as of a couple hours ago. Is Grayscale Ethereum Trust just sent $1 billion worth of ETH to Coinbase Prime? Somebody said it's over. Now, I don't know why they're doing that, but it looks like they're going to sell this Ethereum on Coinbase. Why would they do that? Is because that money is locked in their previous fund, and they may sell, take profit. That could move price down and give everybody a better buying opportunity. Because remember, Grayscale has been promoting ETH and promoting Bitcoin and promoting Solana for a long time. It just wasn't a spot ETF. Remember, a spot ETF has to buy the underlying asset. Just an ETF would just mirror the price, right? It'll kind of be similar price volatility. So it's going to be interesting. ETH is not complete yet, but it's at 3,500. It's at 400 billion. And when we look at stuff like this, and if you guys have questions on this, please drop it in the chats and smash that like button for me, for yourself. But when we look at like comparison, I do think Bitcoin will be over a $2 trillion market cap in this run. So like, for example, let's say Ethereum gets to where Bitcoin is today. And I think this happens in the next 4 years. Maybe not on this next run, but I do think in the next 4 years, before the next halving, we see a five-figure Ethereum, which would put Bitcoin or put Ethereum right now at about $11,000. How often do you go live? I go live from time to time. Go through my channel. There's a lot of free content here. Everything here is free. Couple times a week maybe, but it's kind of random. I had no intention of going live. I did not promote this anywhere. We just went live, and we're just talking about Ethereum here today because tomorrow is big news, and I love to document the process here to come back to. If you've been on my channel for the past couple of years, you can go back to some of my content and look at what we've been talking about. Okay, so this is interesting. Last point here I'll make when it comes to like something you need to know about Ethereum, right? And why Ethereum is attractive. Well, this is actually good news here. The network fees right now are basically very, very cheap. And sometimes that happens when there's not a lot of activity on the network. So that could be an issue. If a lot of activity pops up in Ethereum, I want to see how gas fees react when these ETFs start trading tomorrow morning at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time when the stock market opens. It's going to be interesting because Bitcoin doesn't have gas fees. Ethereum does. We shall see what happens. Now, let's talk about Ethereum and let's give some price predictions here. Okay. Let's start higher time frame and then we'll go lower time frame. Okay. On the why are we frozen? Okay, on the yearly time frame, okay, we can see here 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020. Now, does everybody see this? Does everybody see how price kind of opened, closed right at that yearly candle, and then just went absolutely crazy when it closed above that previous high? And it had, a 500% run, closed at 400%. I would not be surprised if something very similar happened next year. Maybe not 500%, but just a massive parabolic move right there on Ethereum. Okay. So let's take a look at where did smart money get into Ethereum at? So let's zone out here, zoom out. And we can see here, based on volume, if we go back, and we'll even put this on the 2-week time frame for you. Okay, I'm looking for the spikes in volume. Okay, here you go. First big spike happened right here. Ethereum pumped up, $1,400. And a lot of people did not experience this, but I did. Ethereum went from like, what, $1,400 back to $87. And this is if you're in my channel here, go look at the video that I have titled ETH compared to Solana. The same exact thing. I'm telling you this. It's on the chart. The same thing Ethereum did. 95% drop, consolidation, price breaks out. Solana is pretty much like right here in the structure of comparison. And when Solana, for example, does break that previous all-time high, I'm expecting a crazy rip on Solana to above $500 very quickly. But the point is that Solana did the same exact movement sideways, boom, break, structure, pullback. It did the same thing. Okay. Back to what I was saying. Smart money got in here on this pullback, and they also were taking positions in here, and here, and here. You can see on the 2-week time frame, we had not even had a spike in volume that high since Ethereum was under $800. Okay. And these pullbacks, right, like that pullback right here, you had another spike in volume on the weekly, but volume has not been that strong since $1,000. Break, price pulled back. My students were very, very aware of this. Okay. But that does you no good. Let's look at current price. What do I think is going to happen with current price? Well, all-time high is what, about 5,000? Whoops. All-time high is about almost 5,000. If tomorrow morning you were to see the market make an attempt at this level, it could break. You know, this is definitely a level right here that if this market really wants to like put us through the ringer, I hope it doesn't. But if it really wants to like rip down here and create a new low, I would not be surprised if we saw something like that. I'm leaning more towards, though, a bullish run. And the reason I say that is because ETH got like approved, like on paper, like, hey, we're going to get this approved, like somewhere around here. I don't remember the exact date, but it was last month, right? Earlier last month. Maybe remind me in the chat. Over 30 days ago. And then we did have a massive sell-off on Bitcoin right away. You know, this was the massive sell-off that we had when Bitcoin got approved. 20% sell-off on ETH, 25, 30% sell-off on Bitcoin. So this could have been that liquidation, and then we come back for that level later on. That is what I'm leaning more towards right now. And then that second idea that I gave you where it could come down here. But I wouldn't be surprised if this thing could easily just kind of stop right. If it stops right here, it's gone. We're going to see 45, 46, 4,800 very quickly. But if we start spending some time down here, that's my only concern. But I don't know. I don't think we're going to go there. I don't think we're going to go there, to be honest. Okay, let's go take a look at ETH BTC. This is Ethereum's dominance versus, Bitcoin. And I was showing this to some of my students here the other day, and we can actually even zoom this out a little bit. And it's on this chart. ETH price goes up. Alts are going to run. Kind of take a look at this. Let's kind of compare that to this. This did just print a new low. That's the only difference here. But you had a huge impulse. A similar structure before Bitcoin took off end of last year. Is ETH going to go on that run? If there's ever a time for it to happen with all the political mess going on right now, it would be this week. And it would send altcoins on a rally. Now, I don't want to go into Solana too deep on this video because this video is going to be titled all about ETH, but let's delete all this. After the Ethereum ETF is live tomorrow, what crypto do you think would be next? Is it Solana? Is it Ripple? Is it something else? My opinion, I think it would be Solana. Now, this is like, definitely, I think we come back and take out these lows eventually, but I think this is ready to run back to its all-time high. I think we get a candle closure above 190, and Solana starts to run in expectance of it being the next ETF, way faster, all that stuff. But we're not going to talk too much about that. So looking at ETH here today, everybody, I think it's in a good place. I think we have an opportunity for an altcoin. Like this could be the leading category to start the altcoin rally. Just don't get too bullish too quick. If you're already in and you're holding a long-term position, congratulations. But I would not be surprised if ETH tried to make an attempt back down and God willing 3,000 holds. If it doesn't hold, obviously, just like those levels I was talking about, but I think it will. I mean, I can see this level getting hit maybe in the future, but it's just going to take way too much to get down there right now, and it probably won't happen. So keep an eye out on this like 30, this 2,900 to 3,100 level tomorrow. If you see price pull in, I would be accumulating anything altcoin related. To the rest of the altcoins will probably drop. Okay, so I hope this helped you. Go through my channel if you're new here. I do have a free crypto book. I'm going to put it in the chat, www.defiebook.com. And make sure you're following me on Instagram, where I'm posting pretty much every day in my Instagram channel and also on my story from time to time. DeFi Mike Sotero. And if you got any value from this, guys, please hit the subscribe button, hit that like button. It shows the algorithm that you want more content like this. And there's a ton of stuff on my page. If you're finding my page for the first time, grateful for you, appreciate you. And tomorrow morning, I'll be awake. I'll be looking at the market, trading the market at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the ETH ETF. So let's see what happens. But my price prediction, 1 year from now, with the ETH ETF, is I believe price will be above $6,500. I'm leaning more towards that number, but I think 1 year from now, it's a lock that we see Ethereum above 6,500. So buckle up. Hope y'all have a great night. God bless you. And I'll see you guys on the next